So what the hell just happened at the 2025 Royal Rumble? This event was crazy, had some very interesting booking decisions and some ridiculous spots and bumps from the wrestlers involved. Let's dive right into the women's match. My pick to win the whole Rumble came out at number 1, Io Sky, who was followed by Liv Morgan. Coming in at number 3 was the first NXT star of the night, of which there were 5, that being Roxanne Perez. And in fact, Roxy would go on to set a women's record for lasting the longest time in a Royal Rumble match with an astonishing 67 minutes. The first elimination came by the US Women's Champion Chelsea Green as she got rid of one of her rivals, B-Fab. This match didn't pick up too much speed as there weren't too many eliminations in the early going. The ring would fill up with numbers until the Pure Fusion Collective started to gain some control. But after eliminating Maxine Dupree, all 3 members were picked off and double teamed to be taken out of the match, including Lash Legend from NXT helping Liv Morgan get rid of Shayna Baszler. Another NXT call-up in Jada Parker entered at number 16, but it wasn't until number 19 for the first massive pop of the night. The siren started blaring and Jordynne Grace officially made her debut as a contracted WWE wrestler. She would in fact go on to eliminate the previously mentioned Jada Parker. 2 entrants later, and maybe the loudest sustained cheer from the crowd occurred when Alexa Bliss returned. Michael Cole loudly proclaiming that the internet was wrong and that Alexa Bliss is now back. Great to see her in there 2 years after her last appearance for the WWE. The 24th entrant was another NXT superstar with Stephanie Vaquer entering the ring. The crowd gave her a decent reception as well, but it wasn't anything compared to the next one as Hall of Famer Trish Stratus came in at number 25. And then 2 entrants later was the big favourite going into the match with Charlotte Flair making her in-ring return. I wouldn't say the crowd was 100% behind her, but it was still a positive reaction overall. Julia was the next NXT star to make her way into the match, and she would actually go on to eliminate Jordynne Grace, which makes me think Grace is going to be in NXT for a while rather than the main roster. I think they could have put her straight into Raw or SmackDown and would have immediately been a star. Julia was then followed by Nia Jax, who of course did her usual spot of everyone ganging up on her before she hulks up and shrugs everyone off. And then the final surprise entrant of the Women's Rumble came in with the returning Hall of Famer Nikki Bella making her way down to the ring to a huge ovation, and she would go on to eliminate Bayley later in the match. Nia Jax would be the wrecking crew in this match as she was credited with 9 eliminations, including being given the count for Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez all at the same time as they teetered on the edge of the ring. The final 4 would end up being Nikki Bella, Nia Jax, Roxanne Perez and Charlotte Flair, with Nia getting rid of Nikki Bella. Roxanne and Nia were then battling on the ropes while Charlotte Flair was recovering until she came along and tipped Nia Jax over, then booting Roxanne off the apron for the Queen to win her second Royal Rumble. This was a really fun Rumble match that picked up even more towards the end. No Becky Lynch in this match meant it was probably one big name short of being a real classic. Mike correctly predicted Roxanne Perez, Julia and Lash Legend from NXT, while I had Roxanne, Stephanie Vaquer and Jada Parker. From surprise entrants, Mike got Alexa Bliss, Jordynne Grace and Trish Stratus, while I had Jordynne Grace, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Bella. In the final 4, both of us correctly predicted Charlotte Flair and Roxanne Perez, but missed out on the other 2. Mike correctly picked that Roxanne Perez would eliminate Julia and that Piper Niven will eliminate Chelsea Green in what was a very entertaining spot as usual between the 2 of them. And then of course Mike predicted Charlotte Flair would win, getting himself 2 points, whereas I had Io Sky, so he goes storming ahead to a 12-8 lead in our Wrestling Predictions League. And of course, if you want to be a part of the Wrestling Predictions League, please help us out by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video, so that we can eventually set this up for our loyal viewers as well. I would then go on to bring that total back by a point as DIY retained the WWE Tag Team Championship, beating the Motor City Machine Guns 2 falls to 1 after the Street Profits interfered. This helped DIY get the 3rd and final pin of the match before the Street Profits beat down DIY afterwards. It is clear that they want revenge for their backstage attack, but they want DIY to be the team that they take the belts off. Again, another good match here that really built well to the finish, but that finish did kind of come out of nowhere. If it leads to a Street Profits title win at some point, then I am more than okay with that. I had DIY for the win, whereas Michael had the Motor City Machine Guns. Up next, and my goodness, what the hell did we witness between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens? It would be hard to do justice for all of the insanity that these 2 men put themselves through for this match. The brawl started through the crowd before they made their way back to the ring and set up several ladders. But there's really three main spots that everyone is talking about. Firstly, Kevin Owens took a back body drop onto the side of a downed ladder that looked like it absolutely sucked to take. But then the big two spots. Kevin Owens had set up a ladder bridge on the outside and one on the inside before going up to the top rope for a swanton bomb. Cody got off the ladder bridge and met him there, but completely forgot the rules. You don't superplex Kevin Owens, who turned it into a sick looking fisherman's buster onto the ladder bridge. Cody sold this like he was knocked out clean, while it was clear Kevin hit the back of his head on the ladder. Sami Zayn was out there, with a lot of people wondering which way he would go, but he was checking on both men, Kevin Owens first, but that is standard for the wonderful character Sami is. After the two men got back up and then exchanged some blows, KO went for either a powerbomb or a package piledriver on the ladder bridge on the outside, until Cody countered it and did the most horrible looking Alabama slam on the ladder, with Kevin's head going through the rungs as he crumpled over. Cody calmly climbed up the ladder and took down the belts as Sami and doctors attended to the fallen and very bloodied Kevin Owens. Hopefully they're both okay after this, but there were plenty of signs that Cody has a heel turn incoming at some point in 2025. We both picked Cody to win this match, so another point each on our predictions league. Now the Men's Royal Rumble, and with all of the surprises and NXT entrants in the Women's Rumble, that would signpost to show that there weren't going to be too many surprise entrants in the Men's Rumble. Rey Mysterio started the match to be followed by Penta. What a great moment for the two luchadors who put on a fun back and forth before Chad Gable came in to renew his rivalry with Penta. The first handful of entrants in the match were all shorter guys who probably weren't going to reach the final four, until Bron Breakker entered at number 7, and he cleared out Carmelo Hayes and Santos Escobar. And then probably the first big contentious moment in the Men's Royal Rumble, with Carmelo Hayes taking out number 8 entrant Akira Tozawa, who ended up being replaced by I Show Speed. He also got an elimination as he and Bron Breakker teamed up to get rid of Otis. But then Breakker delivered one of the most incredible spears you will ever see on the YouTuber, then military press slammed him into Otis on the outside. Jacob Fatu was in at number 12, and he would go on to eliminate 4 men in the match and seemed to have a face-off with every big guy who would come in after him. And then at number 15, say his name and he appears, Joe Hendry came out. What a wonderful moment for the man who took 15 years to become an overnight sensation. And he lasted a few minutes until the next man, Roman Reigns, came in and got rid of the TNA champion. Roman also got rid of Bron Breakker to total 4 eliminations, correctly predicted by my daughter on this channel, and some big guns started filling up the ring. Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, and Jey Uso, to name a few, came out before a returning AJ Styles to a massive ovation from the Indianapolis crowd. Braun Strowman then came in and incredibly got rid of Jacob Fatu. John Cena, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins were the next entrants before the biggest star of the night came running down to the ring, Dominic Mysterio. The contrast of the incredible main event talent in the ring, followed by Dirty Dom, was perfect. The final 4 entrants were Sami Zayn, after watching his friends in their match earlier, Damian Priest, LA Knight, and Logan Paul. And now the eliminations came thick and fast, with Damian getting rid of Dominic and Drew McIntyre, though some are suggesting this wasn't supposed to happen. Then with Seth and Roman battling it out, CM Punk came along to tip both of them out, followed by Logan Paul getting rid of Punk. The 3 eliminated men on the outside had a massive brawl for the next few minutes, which saw Seth clearly looking like turning heel, CM Punk pissed off at everyone, and Roman Reigns left decimated by ringside. But with Logan Paul, John Cena, and Jey Uso left in the ring, thankfully one of the greatest of all time managed to get rid of Logan before it was just main event left with him. This is where I think the match fell down, especially after the last 2 years where we've had mini matches between Cody Rhodes and Gunther, and then Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. This didn't quite click between the two of them, and that ending almost looked like it wasn't supposed to happen. But eventually Jey Uso was the man who ended up getting the best of the two, and he is the man going on to main event WrestleMania, just like his nickname would suggest. For me, I can see this being a reward for his connection to the crowd over the last couple of years, since becoming a single star on his own. But after losing a world title match last week and having an absolute stinker at WrestleMania last year against his brother, it seems very strange that they are going with Jey Uso, considering the huge star power that is in the company at the moment. In terms of our picks, there were no members from NXT who made it in the match, which was disappointing, And then we both picked the obvious surprise of Joe Hendry. I had CM Punk in the final 4, although he was there very briefly, where Mike had CM Punk and John Cena. No one could have predicted the winner of this match though, so all in all, Mike is taking a 17-12 win, and I've got a lot of catching up to do over the course of the year in our league. The men's Royal Rumble match was absolutely fantastic and probably the best of the Triple H era so far, though the last couple of minutes probably drag it down a notch or so. So let us know what you think of the Royal Rumble matches and the event as a whole. What an incredible event in Indianapolis that had loads of fun, loads of vitality, and an ending that no one could have predicted.